Hi, my name is Mike Rizzo. I'm 23 and reside in the Chicago suburbs. I'm passionate about science, philosophy, progressive politics and social issues, literature, art, music, and non-Western culture. I consider myself an ascendant nerd because my areas of interest and expertise are extremely varied and yet complementary. The result is a well-rounded, versatile nerd with extraordinary depth. My dream job is to work at Fermilab, the second largest particle accelerator in the world, which is located only about 40 minutes from me. I would even sweep the floors and eventually pull the old Good Will Hunting routine and work my way up from there. Although I've only attended community college for a few years, my ability to conceptualize new ideas and my 3-point-something GPA suggests that my thirst for knowledge can take me far when I decide to go back. The only limits will be financial and economic, and I'm not sure those things will even stop me. Some of the things I excel at include fast reading while understanding and retaining content. In 5th grade, I was actually tested to have the reading level of a senior in high school. So with great reading ability naturally comes effortless writing and good vocabulary. Recently, I've started putting my talent to use, writing lyrics, promoting critical thinking, self-awareness, and the like. Eventually, I will work my way up to abstract poetry and fiction to further expand my repertoire. The nerdiest thing I've done recently was attend a comic book convention in a homemade Riddler costume. The convention was awesome. It was the Disneyland of comic book culture. The art, costumes, memorabilia, everything just made it such a great experience from everyone in my family that went. It was so much fun. A few months ago, I went to a lecture by physicist Michio Kaku on his newest book, Physics of the Future. He spoke on the technological breakthroughs taking place in medicine, computation, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology. The audience was extremely diverse and knowledgeable, asking questions, and I loved every minute of it. I mentioned before that one of my talents is writing lyrics. This is a little rhyme I wrote at work in about 10 minutes. 4 billion years of evolution, and all we get is this? Our technology progressed, but has our humanity ceased to exist? Clever apes with bank accounts and bills to pay. These bananas ain't free, got a slave away. Working class making just enough to stay alive. Survival of the fittest, and only the richest survive. For 2 weeks, I've been working on something specifically for this. So without further ado, the part you came here to see, the Geek Out. To showcase my supreme nerdiness and give you a better idea of what I'm all about, I will share with you a better idea of what I'm about in a fun, unique, and as clever way as I can. I'll share with you a fusion of two of my passions, intelligent discourse and fiction. With the recent release of Arkham City and the blockbuster success of the Christopher Nolan films, I will use the few of Batman's villains as a backdrop to explore the concepts that they are based upon. First up is a character I feel is the most discussion worthy, the dichotomy in order and chaos, Two-Face. Obsessed by pairs of extreme opposites and unable to choose between them, leaves his decision-making to a coin that symbolizes fate and chance. Fate is known as deterministic, while chance is indeterministic. Determinism comes out of classical physics and suggests that if one had a mathematical model for the initial conditions in any given situation, then the outcome of that situation can be predicted. Take the roll of a die, or the flip of a coin for that matter. If one knew the location and motion of every particle in the air, hand, and table, then what appear as random events are actually destined events. Well, when fully explained. So far, so good? This was how nature worked before the quantum world was discovered. Free will is an illusion, and our fate was written in stone before we were even born, at the moment of the Big Bang. Then along came quantum mechanics, proving at the subatomic level, events are random, uncertain, and mysterious. Electrons were found to be behaving both like particles located in physical reality and waves of probability in potential reality. These results were such a departure from classical physics that Einstein initially refuted them, concluding that God does not play dice. Legend has it that Niels Bohr, one of the founders of quantum theory and Nobel recipient, replied to Einstein, "Stop telling God what to do." This is the stuff nerd legends are made of. On the surface, it seems as though the quantum revolution reinforced the incompatibility of the macroscopic and microscopic worlds. General relativity unified space-time and illustrated gravity as the warping of this four-dimensional fabric over large distances. Quantum theory unified matter and energy as well as particle-wave duality on subatomic scales. The singularity can be thought as the reconciliation point of these two clashing theories. Complete unification via the theory of everything just might reveal that both the destructive black holes and creative Big Bang singularities are actually two heads of the same coin. To demonstrate the unity and interrelation of all things, we must first understand the culprit for the split, dualism. In the 17th century, prominent Enlightenment figure René Descartes separated mind and body. Reality was split in two, between the physical world and the intangible realm of thoughts and consciousness. The backlash from the mind-body problem has been especially strong in the Western world, establishing itself as the chasm between science and spirituality, the seen and the unseen. The true irony is that when scientists probe deeper into the atom, revealing the secrets of matter, they found that the physical universe is essentially non-physical. Time and space are merely constructs of this non-materialness, where physical reality arises from an abstract ocean of endless potentiality. At this point, modern science by definition can say no more, and for the purpose of this discussion, I'll appeal to Eastern metaphysics to drive the point home. No analysis on the duality of Two-Face would be complete without discussing the significance of the yin and the yang. So relevant is this symbol to our conversation that physicist Niels Bohr wore it on his coat of arms. Right brain logic and reason is equally complemented by left brain abstraction and creativity. Light and dark, male and female energy continually flow, reaching maximum and minimum in a dynamic balance of symmetry and interdependence. As Lao Tzu said, when all understand beauty to be beautiful, then ugliness exists. When all understand goodness to be good, then evil exists. Eastern mysticism concludes that the fragmented world of polar opposites that we created everywhere we look can only be transcended by the inner realization that the two are manifestations of a greater whole. Two become one. The dissolved boundaries of separation and classification are replaced by a unified, formless, universal force that appears in Taoism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. It goes by different names in each of these. Next is Batman's arch-nemesis. The Joker is the embodiment of Friedrich Nietzsche's nihilism. This is hinted at in The Dark Knight when Joker says, "What doesn't kill you makes you stranger," with the original quote belonging to Nietzsche. Oddly enough, it just so happens that the heroic Superman is also based upon another one of Nietzsche's ideas. The Übermensch, or Overman, Superman, is his proposed solution to the problem of nihilism. The driving force behind the Clown Prince of Crime is that at the bottom of rationality lies irrationality. This sentiment has been echoed by Nobel laureate Steven Weinberg in his book The First 3 Minutes, that The more the universe seems comprehensible, the more it also seems pointless. And that the effort to understand the universe is one of the very few things that lifts human life above the level of farce and gives it some of the grace of tragedy. It seems that scientists especially grapple with this thin line between genius and insanity. In this manner, the inherent meaninglessness of existence gives rise to laughter at its absurdity. Existence is the joke, with humanity being the punchline. This is why the Joker is such a formidable villain. Platonic values such as morality, truth, freedom, justice are up for grabs in a universe that's intrinsically devoid of purpose. Law and order becomes subjective, and lawlessness becomes justified. Luckily, villains never win, and society as a whole never succumbs to this disease, because it's up to the individuals to uncover the redeeming qualities such as creativity, love, and self-expression, to celebrate rather than negate. Next up is Master of Mystery, or last but not least comes Master of Mystery, the King of Conundrum, the Riddler. This is for anyone that's ever asked himself a deep question for which an answer could not be readily found. Sometimes the ability to pose a question is more important than the answer. Oftentimes, answers open up a window to a whole new series of questions. At the heart of everything lies a mystery. What came first, the chicken or the egg? What is consciousness? Is it a necessary feature of the universe? Finally, why is mathematics the language of the universe, and how are mere mortals able to decipher the great cosmic drama from beginning to end? Reality can be thought of as a giant computer program consisting of bits of information and binary code, the ultimate question being who or what wrote the code. As you can see, it's not just philosophers posing these types of questions. Scientists have a mystery box of their own riddles to solve. In theoretical physics and cosmology, one of the greatest mysteries is the apparent fine-tuning of the four fundamental forces of the universe: gravity, electromagnetism, and the two nuclear forces. Much like our planet sitting in the Goldilocks zone for water and life, the initial conditions at the moment of creation make all this possible. At the Big Bang, the values for the masses of all the particles, the strength of four forces, as well as gravity, as well as dark matter and energy, were set in stone. Slightly changing any one of these hundreds of seemingly arbitrary parameters would have been completely disastrous. How is the Big Bang so perfect? To truly emphasize the scope of the situation and what I mean by perfect, astronomer Hugh Ross has compared it to a Boeing 747 aircraft being completely assembled as a result of a tornado striking a junkyard. This is known as the anthropic principle. Some see it as proof of intelligent design, while scientists nowadays are postulating the existence of higher spatial dimensions or parallel universes to account for the fine-tuning. So it seems that the more we learn, the more obvious becomes that there's so much that we still don't know. And some things just might be unknowable, perhaps for the better. Well, this is the end of what I prepared and why I think I would be a good candidate for this show. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you. Goodbye.